Archaeologists believe that the pyramids are nothing but tombs of the pharaohs. In essence, they believed that the length of a pharaoh's life was related to the size of their pyramid. Herodotus wrote in the 5th century BC, called the father of history, Khufu never used the Great Pyramid as a tomb but was buried elsewhere, in a subterranean area on an island surrounded by the waters of the Nile. Later theories turned to show the power of Egypt and were aligned with the celestial signs to honor their gods. Many dedicated authors have studied large parts from their lives and build compelling cases, but it can be really simple. Due to theft and looting, we are left with crust and architectural clues. The suppression of the truth about the Great Pyramids of Giza leads to the return of the elite who protect their systems in order to stay sloppy. What we are looking at, when evaluating the pyramids of Giza, was a multi-purpose power system. This was free energy given to all people. All homes enjoyed light and power, even the most rudimentary batteries remained charged. I discovered a relative match on the Sumerian Shamri tablet which shows a certain frequency embedded in the stone. I'm beginning to understand that the ancients used sound to move things. Hear the audio recording near the Earth's core. The pyramids of Giza harness sound waves from the Earth's inner core. Humans cannot hear the frequencies from it, but it is the sound waves that are emitted from the Earth. These hierarchical cultures thrived because they took care of the basic needs of the people, which is why these ancient empires lasted for thousands of years. The Great Pyramid is a flat surface in the center of a landmass on Earth and also acts as a fulcrum. This design makes use of sound waves that exit from the inner core into the columns, where limestone dampens the lower frequencies and only allows the higher frequencies to exit the pyramid. Gold-plated pyramids who showed these high frequencies. That is why there was such a search for gold from these ancient civilizations, because it led to power. Based on the size of the Giza pyramid, a field of free energy was created around the Egyptian cities. DJED is the old word for battery, and any battery in this area was constantly charged. The word Ankh in this area has increased strength, and the darker the human skin, brown, the more frequent the person. And rods were used to direct this power into the energy field for its intended purpose. The Giza Pyramid is the largest power plant in the world. Because of its sheer size, huge amounts of high frequency can be generated. The magnetic field must be hundreds of miles away. It is better to immerse the Pyramid of Giza in water because sound travels 4 times faster in water as it does in air. Which means that the higher frequency was moving at an increasing speed as it reached the crystals. Because of the partial symmetry of the hydrogen bond in water, it does not retain molecules with electrons but easily distributed between pools of water, resulting in coherent regions capable of interacting with local electric and magnetic fields and electromagnetic radiation. Can you imagine living in a country that was not only responsible for the nation's infrastructure and development but provided energy free for people? This was a time when people worked together and did amazing things because of free energy. Any device that requires power turns on automatically if it is in the field. The caveat is that you have to know the tone. Elements used to design high-frequency power stations were used after Napoleon's scientific expedition. Soon after Napoleon's return, new patents for electronics began to appear. After Napoleon's army left the pyramids unprotected, the looting began, but rest assured that the components of the high-frequency generator have already been removed. Knowing the Pyramid of Giza is a high-frequency generator that allows us to reverse engineer for the necessary components based on the structure of all columns, including the king and the king's chamber as they call it. Now when I look at the king and queen's room, I see a house for the missing components. I think there are custom crystals found in these rooms. When the high frequency sped through the water, the crystals started to vibrate. The frequency is so high that it is undetected by human ears. Let's better understand the crystal used for frequency. A crystal oscillator is an electronic oscillator circuit that uses the mechanical resonance of a vibrating crystal of piezoelectric material to create an electrical signal of a very precise frequency. This means that a precise frequency has been created and your gadgets and weapons must be configured to that exact frequency, allowing them to listen and gain power. If you are a freak and you need energy, then you should be scanned and trained on the exact frequency. Any invention in the ancient land only needs to adjust large amounts of free energy available. Earth's inner core has its own inner core with crystals aligned in a different direction. Let's take a look at the architectural structure and see how the design of the Great Pyramid takes energy from our rotating Earth. Inside the inner core of the Earth there are even more crystals. You mentioned that crystals were used in the King and Queen's chamber. Well, the Earth's crystals created a sound field that is always there. We can't hear it, but it certainly can be harnessed. It also showed many ancient hierarchical cultures. This also explains why these ancient cultures lived in harmony with the Earth. Because it was more than life-sustainable. The ancients knew that the Earth is a power station that gives its children free energy. As a byproduct of the Earth's free rotation, its crystals vibrated, reciprocating and sound waves. This explains the design of the incomplete room in the Pyramid of Giza, and accepted by academia, the unfinished room is completely over. They are engineered to capture and direct sound waves through the pyramid. Sound waves come in their purest form, grouped from lower frequencies to higher again. The water was an intense boost that pushes the frequencies through 4 times faster than if they just passed through the air. This allowed the King and Queen crystals to vibrate and increase the sound waves propagating in the pyramid. The frequencies propagated towards the outside of the pyramid. As only the low frequencies were filtered and only the high frequencies escaped from the pyramid. The gold plating on the Great Pyramid of Giza allowed the pyramidal structure only to resonate with a high frequency. Now we understand why the ancient Egyptians decided to build the Great Pyramid in the exact center of the Earth's surface. This has to be the best place to pick up the sound of free energy. If the Earth's core is a massive 1,500 wide iron crystal core that silently rings free energy around, the Earth needs petroleum fuels. Until then, the elite knew not to share free energy with people. Not to mention the energy that the elite cannot benefit from. The elite worked through secret societies that extended across the world. There is a sentence that whoever wins wars owns history. The Giza Pyramid is more than just a spiritual symbol or a display of great power. It is a transformer of great power. This means that all the other planets in our solar system, including the Sun's waves, emitting a high-frequency symphony awaiting to be tapped. We are scattered as a human race at unprecedented levels. The irony is that the answers are right in our faces, but all we need to do is focus on them. Technology has reached this place in conjunction with the internet, where we are becoming aware. The dots are connected faster now. Instead of focusing on death and rushing to death, we need to embrace life. We need to focus our collective consciousness on improving our lives through free energy. The ancients left us blueprints embedded in stone. We just need to use our current scientific knowledge base to reverse engineer solutions. Understanding Earth is not only the factor of life, but a free energy plant should guide us in protecting it. There is no longer any need for hydrocracking oil or gas because humans need to search the ground in order to collect these fossil fuels.